Ignition. Look at this man.
Look at this man.
It's like a firecracker, man. I love the climb back. Stop the capery back. All right, man. Let's go. All right. Let's see what the good old preacher talking about. I love the KB in television. All this is fair use in your caboose bone, man. You know what I mean? Copyright 107, yada yada. You know what I mean? So let's just see what the preacher talking about, man. He's giving some good testimony though. And he really is going in with some body bags that we're gonna talk about, such as this rainbow. And we're gonna go into some of this Apollo situation with the Van Allen belt, which is very interesting as well. So we're gonna talk firmament, rainbows, Van Allen belts, jet propulsion, rocket propulsion systems, and some scripture. How about that? All right, so let's go.
Shooting missiles at up there. The name of their operation is the Fishbowl operation. Now, I don't know about where you grew up.
Remember the Operation Fishbowl where they were shooting nukes? They were nuking the firmament. They were shooting nukes into the sky. My nugget, if you think you're on a spinning ball, it's pretty obvious that if you shoot a nuke into the sky, it's not going to hit nothing but air. And then go into outer space, maybe go into low Earth orbit, or just fall back into and blow your ass up. You know what I'm saying? It's you're going to be the explosion. But if you're hitting something, and they say we're testing the ionosphere. It's called Operation Fishbowl, man. Fish trying to get out there, glass ceiling, right? Like an upside down fishbowl. Operation Dominique. Look all this stuff up. Yeah, NASA launched Thor. This is a real thing. They called it Thor, Managa. Thor's hammer, man. The good old preacher talking about it, listen up.
Where I grew up, a fishbowl only looks like one thing. It looks like a fishbowl. So NASA, their name for things, they're saying they're launching missiles in Operation Fishbowl of the Lord. If it's not something up there that looks like a fishbowl, they certainly created a lot of room for controversy by giving it the name fishbowl. If it's not a fishbowl, it kind of lends itself to believe that whatever they discovered in Antarctica made them believe there's a fishbowl up there, and we're inside the upside down fishbowl. That's their name for the operation. You can't make this stuff up. It's real.
You can't make this shit up.
And you can
You can't make this stuff up, man. Yeah, we've been popping off, man. Somehow they feel like we're just going to the moon, man. Somehow they left their cameraman on the moon.
Hey, all right, man. Let's go. All right. Let's see
Ignition.
where are you finding that? What are you pushing off of? They keep saying, but the propulsion is pushing off. This gas is pushing out. It has to hit an atmosphere. It has to interact. It can't just go straight into a vacuum. There's no push off. So how are they pushing off? Ignition. Look at this man.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
look at this man.
Damn, man. They really sold us, huh? They just popped off the moon. The little sparkly firecracker. And Clave got the drop. We're gonna dig some more on Operation Fishbowl, Operation Dominique. Matter of fact, let's get a couple more minutes from the preacher man and have some fun, man. This is Flat Drop 101. Welcome back, man. 432 the drop radio. AI to all drop nation, because you got the drop, you got that water.
which is still a part possibly of the firmament. Not the artificial ice, you know what I'm saying? But deep in, who knows how far it goes? Who knows how far this firmament, or dome connects to? There's different theories, love to dizzle fitty,
There's
you
a
know,
fitty.
go get that last flat drop, 178 worlds. I mean, this book was saying it's 178 worlds, and then there's a great dome with 178 worlds within all that.
Okay.
And then there's smaller domes. And then you can get through these domes by getting through the ice cracks, or
Mm,
the uh the gates. They call them gates, gateways in the ice. If you know how to navigate through these gateways, you can get through the windows of heaven.
I mean, what did Admiral Byrd find that he had to go back with over 5,000 men, right? He had airplane bombers and, warships. He didn't go to try to discover anything. He went there for war. He went there on a mission, man. And there must have been people there for him to, have some type of smoke with. And apparently they whooped his ass, right? He came running back, suffered major casualties. Now, they tried to sweep this Antarctica war led by Admiral Byrd. They tried to slip this under the rug. Admiral Byrd just goes, missing somewhere, and beyond the wall. He probably got his little spot behind the wall. Beyond the wall, they called these rockets hammered, Thor's hammers, and Operation Dominique, which means of the Lord. So it was all about, some aspect of the Most High, them trying to defy the Most High, really. Because why would you be shooting warheads, calling something of the Lord? High altitude atomic explosions using rockets, including the Thor missile. They trying to use Thor's hammer to burst through something. This is why, get that last flat drop. This is all about a solid expanse. Firmament is solid. That's the first thing we digging on. Because once we prove that, then now you got to find a solid expanse on your ball. Hijack keeps saying, no, that the firmament is the atmosphere, boss. It's not solid, boss. I beat it out. I met it out. It's the handiwork of HaWah. It got to be solid, Khan. They're trying to skip over the solid handiwork and call it the atmosphere. He met it out. He beat out the atmosphere. It's that cool, right? That cool. We learned a lot of Hebrew last time, man. So, yeah, they're trying to burst through the roundness, the vault of heaven, right? The vault. Let's go.
Sending the flood on mankind. If you read most of the ancient mystery religions in different civilizations, they all say Nimrod literally thought he could build the tower so that he could break through into the throne room of God and kill God.
Khan.
Now, if that's what Nimrod actually believed, it's because Nimrod, who lived right after the flood, he understood from Shem, Ham, and Japheth, who came off the ark, that there's a firmament up there and that the throne room of God is right on the other side of it. Now, you and I know he couldn't kill God, but that's what their religion teaches. That's what his stated goal was to kill God, to exalt man over God. And you can say that's just an allegory, but there's a reason they were building a tower.
I mean, what do you think NASA's doing? Right?
Mm.
Star Trek, boldly go where no man's gone before. They're not in a spaceship, they're in a ship in outer
Space.
space.
There.
This boat, this ship is going into outer space. Manaka, you get to outer space by going straight.
Ping.
Worlds beyond the pole. We're gonna get that G and Nini. Flat drop 101.
Okay.
We're starting brand new recon.
Okay.
Connected some, OG recon, but we're gonna be doing some new recon, seeing what's still out here. and doing some exploring. I just found this preacher man talking some stuff, so I'm reconning it in real time. But yeah, man, outer space ships. They're not these these astronauts aren't going to no planets. They're going to more plane. Etymology of planet is plane, man. Plane, flat, spread out. Plane, man. You don't put a T at the end of a word and turn it into a spinning ball. It's a plane. Etymology, etymologically speaking. They got Thor trying to bust through the firmament. Nimrod. Uh, we're gonna get back on that Hungary drop. Love to Aqua Shamar. We're gonna get back on that. Aqua been emailing some more drop. I got you, Aqua. We just talking Nimrod and the Huns and the Magar. Lego.
I mean, let's face it, you can build a huge city with lots of different kinds of buildings, but there's a reason they were building a tower. And you heard Admiral Byrd's final words about why he kept going back to Antarctica right up till his death. He wanted to go get away from civilization to a place where he could become one for a moment with the cosmos. If he ran into or found whatever that impenetrable dome is, that would sure explain how he, in his mind, thought he was becoming one with the cosmos for a time while he was there standing at whatever that impenetrable thing is. Preacher, are you saying that the firmament, the dome, comes all the way down to the ice somewhere after you cross however many hundreds or thousands of miles of the Antarctic circle around the Earth? I'm not saying that he did or didn't encounter that, but it certainly lends itself to believe that he found something, and that's why they started shooting all these high altitude missiles up. I mean, we understand why they would want to perform rocket.
Flat drop 101.
Pink belt.
Admiral Byrd was popping off, right? I mean, it's not hard to Moreland. I'm just doing raw recon with you. I don't know. Yeah, I'm on Google. Yeah. But if you know what you're looking for, Google can be pretty effective. But you might need to go to some other search engine. Some might not just be in the deep web with it, but I never been to the deep web and the dark web and all that, man. I've done all this recon on the surface web with just a little water. But just imagine how much is out there. All we're doing is proving that the investigation has validity. And once you know it has validity, you take it to the next levels. You know what I'm saying? We keep going to the foundational levels because we got new noggins popping off that always need foundational drop. And then, sometimes we just do something for the wave surface, man. Those that, but it's all one drop. You know what I'm saying? But it got to be foundational. We all got to get it, or we're not, or none of us is going to get it. You know what I'm saying? So, by all, I mean, all whoever HaWah, is flowing this particular channel through, who's ever turning on this TV, man. I don't know, man, but we surfing away, man. He just talked about Admiral Byrd, the ice wall, and going as far as he can go. I know there's Admiral Byrd. Admiral Byrd. I'm just putting stuff in. Let's see what we got. Okay. Yeah. Let's check this out. Couple things on Admiral Byrd. This is what, look. They can't take all drop off of Google. You know what I mean? The devil gotta give you some truth, man. It's part of their contract. So never worry about everything just disappearing. It's a perspective. Once you got the perspective, then you can do the recon. The perspective is what they can't take away. Only HaWah could take that away and give you a Ruach Tarde Ma, put you fully to sleep, and now you lost your perspective. And now you're seeing through their eyes, observing the wave pattern or collapsing the wave pattern by observing through the hijacks lens, fraudulent lens telescopes. Yeah, man. In the geocentric theory, which means the Earth is in the center, not the sun, it's quite feasible. There is more land beyond the Antarctic, which encircles like a firmament the Earth and keeps water in, separating the waters from the water in an observable and logical flat level, because water is always flat. I can show you experiment all day of water being flat. If you putting water in any medium, it's going to end up being flat unless you got it swirling around or you're talking about a bubble, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm talking about something with gravity, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about what they call gravity, right? The earth needs gravity to crush this water into a ball, all that, you know what I'm saying? So I've never seen water go into a ball. You know what I mean? The earth ain't no bubble, it has mass. You know what I'm saying? Got rivers and lakes and oceans, and perfectly still rivers, but the earth is spinning at 1100 miles per hour, but the river's perfectly still. Birds are just flying. Gravity is supposed to be so strong, it's crushing the water from spiraling out into the vacuum of space. But the birds are just flying without feeling shit. Michael Jordan is dunking from the free throw line. But these tons and quadrillion tons of water is crushed into a ball so that water doesn't fly out while it's spinning at 1100 miles per hour, traveling at 67,000 miles per hour in a vacuum of space, man. And you just take your rockets and spaceships and leave the earth as if it's not traveling at 67,000 miles per hour. And you go into the vacuum of space with absolutely no atmosphere, according to NASA. You go from having atmosphere, traveling at 67,000 miles per hour, and go into a no atmosphere vacuum, traveling 67,000 miles per hour, while this damn ball is spinning at 1100 miles per hour, and you just pop out the ball.
Damn.
You don't get no resistance from this vacuum while you smash out your smashing out your ball at 67,000 miles per hour. Look, man, show me an experiment of water spinning at 1100 miles per hour in a ball formation, man. Okay. Then I'll say, all right. And tell me why HaWah got to put us on a spinning ball when you could take a perfectly flat plane and create life, right? Why be all difficult with spinning balls all over the place, right? Orbits all over the place. Water's always flat, man. That's scientific, observable, repeatable science. That's all you see is flat water. Don't let these people think that this water is curving into a ball and spinning at 1100 miles per hour, traveling at 67,000 miles per hour. That's what NASA say. Don't let these people fool you, man. It's flat drop 101. Water always conforms to this, never around the globe. No, you can't put water on a ball. Show me the experiment. In a vacuum too, and spin it at 1100 miles, 1,000 miles per hour. And the water don't fly off into the vacuum because of gravity. But gravity is a theory, not a law.
Mm.
So your whole perspective is based on a theory. The entire ball earth model is based on a theory of gravity that was never proven, not even by Einstein, as a fact. We're just talking density, boss. That apple that falls to the earth is because it's more dense than the atmosphere, my nigga. That's physics, has density. You don't need gravity, you got density. What, density's not enough? It has to be something sucking it down called gravity to prove that your your ball of water is not being sucked into the vacuum, man. This is your ball, right? They give you a little ball, and outside that ball is planets or planes, and to you they're globular spinning balls. What is world beyond a pole? If I'm a deal, genie need say these are illusions. You got a convex lens coming out the telescope, convex lens coming out your eyeball, convex lens plus a convex lens equals
Hijack,
trickery, boss.
hijack city, boss. Let's go. Worlds beyond the poles, man. Definitely want to get that up. Let me see if I still got that link. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on. Ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ooh. Why not, man? Why not? Why not, man? Let's belly flop. Not too far. Let's go like chapter 2 or something, man. We don't want to go too crazy. Chapter 1. Why not? Hey, you know what? Why not? Hey, Templar. And get it like it's the first time. Hey, world's beyond the poles if you don't know. Just to let you know this ain't no play. We're talking about stratosphere experimentation, V2 rockets. These are not some unlearned, uneducated, unsciency people. These are hardcore people. This particular person was actually dealing with the U.S. Navy. Got confirmations and everything in the 20s and 30s and all that, man. Before they went into astronaut mode with NASA and all that, creation of NASA happened to cover up the exploration, man. The Admiral Byrd used to be the real astronaut. Bowley, Captain Kirk Bowley going, no man going. He was the one finding new lands and new planes. Now they say you gotta hop in a rocket, put on an astronaut suit, go to outer space to find more land. Are you kidding me, man? 65 miles up, taken from a V2 rocket. 65 miles up. Shows the globular illusion, not reality, but the globular illusion and photographic distortion as expressed by Giannini. Photo by Applied Physics Laboratory of Johns Hopkins University. Stop playing. In other words, he was taking a photo, I think, over New Mexico or whatever the case is. And as he went up, the higher he went up and took a picture back down, he was proving that New Mexico looked just like outer space from 65 miles up, taking a picture down. We look like outer space to them. We as a plane look like outer space, and you could tell us it's anything. You can brainwash us and say these sparkling things are balls and stars. In reality, it's just a distortion, the photographic distortion, the globular illusion with these telescopes, these lenses. One more time. The following pages contain the first and only description of the realistic universe of land, water, oxygen, and vegetation where human and other forms of animal life abound. This is not a work of fiction, boss, nor is it a technical analysis of anything. It is a simple recital of fact which transcends the most elaborate fiction ever conceived. It is diametrically opposed to the assumptions and the mathematical conclusions of theorists and technicians throughout the ages. It is truth. It is truth, Manai. These pages describe the physical land routes. So that map we were just looking at, well, the lands beyond the earth plane that we know. That Japanese map, we're talking about physical land routes from the earth to every land area of the universe about us, which is all land. So when you're looking at outer space, it's not some empty space. It's more water, more land, more vegetation. Same thing. Such routes extend from beyond the North Pole and South Pole, so-called ends of the Earth, as decreed by the theory. It will here be adequately shown that there are no northern or southern limits to the Earth. It will thereby be shown where movement straight ahead from the pole points and on the same level as the Earth permits of movement into celestial areas appearing up, boss. It looks like they're up, but that's an illusion. Or out from the Earth. It says, again, it will thereby be shown where movement straight ahead from the pole points on the same level, airplane, as the Earth permits of movement into celestial land areas appearing up, boss. Right? So these might appear up based on reflections and, you know what I'm saying, off the dome, your telescope, convex lenses, all that stuff. Might appear up, but it's just straight. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all these planets, stars, like these are all luminous sky areas that connect to celestial lands, and celestial lands are straight, not up, straight. So when you see Elon Musk launch a rocket and it don't go up, it don't go straight up, right? It starts curving and going straight like an airplane, man. They ain't trying to get out no ball. They don't try to hit no dome. They go straight before they hit that dome to more lands beyond the poles. Perhaps. Perhaps. Yeah, man, this is F. Amadeo Giannini, Worlds Beyond the Pole, Physical Continuity of the Universe. Are y'all familiar with it by now? We've been dropping this for almost a decade, but apparently repetition breaks the spell. What spell, boss? Hey, drop. What spell are we in? Only dreams are true. The tangible and real on which our lives are based was yesterday's ideal, a rosy picture traced by some quaint visionary, impractical, half-cracked, painting his fancies airy, and now it's a solid fact. Whatever we hold stable, dependable, and sane was once a hopeful fable of castles built in Spain. Before the fact, the fancy, before the deed, the dream that builds by necromancy, the hard material scheme. So all your towers that shimmer, your lamps that light the sky, were once a tiny glimmer within some seer's eye. Time makes our empire scatter, but we shall build anew, for only visions matter, and only dreams are true. Burton Braley got to drop. So who's the visionary and who's the seer and who's doing necromancy? Casting these spells of illusions, extrasensory perception. Let's get it. This is reality. It is truth. Stranger than any fiction the world has known, there is no physical end to the Earth's northern and southern extent. The Earth merges with land areas of the universe about us that exist straight ahead beyond the North Pole and the South Pole points of theory. It is now established that we may at once journey into celestial land areas by customary movement on the horizontal from beyond the pole points. It is also known that the flight course from this Earth to connecting land area of the universe about us, which appears up or out from the Earth, will always be over land and water and vegetation common to this earth area of the universe whole. Never need we shoot up as popular misconception demands to reach celestial land existing under every luminous area we observe at night. On the contrary, we will move straight ahead and on the same physical level from either of theory's imaginary pole points. Confirmation of such a flight course is had in that of the U.S. Navy Task Force of February 1947. I pay attention because this is when NASA was formed around this time. This is also when the state of Israel, right? The whole Rothschild flow, state of Israel popped off, right? This is what they fighting over today. So if they had to create this state there, then where were the Hebrews, here? Where were the real Hebrews? You know what I'm saying? Right here. They had to create this state, merge onto the peoples, and now they got issues, right? So 1947 was a busy year. Like I said, you got the Palestine being, turned into the state of Israel flow over there. This big deception happening, Admiral Byrd finding more land beyond the pole. You got the creation of NASA popping off, the Antarctic Treaty about to be formed, and a lot more, right? So, of course, you got the, Chickamauga Wars pretty much tailing off at this point. But it's still up though. It's still up. You know what I'm saying? We still scrapping. You know what I'm saying? So it's all happening right now in 1947. What you got? Vietnam, it's coming up, right? So all this stuff is happening. Korea War. So confirmation of such a flight course is had in that of the U.S. Navy Task Force of February 1947, which penetrated 1,700 miles beyond the North Pole Point and beyond the known Earth. So they already went past the known Earth. This is the part of Earth that wouldn't fit on your ball, boss. You don't find 2,000 miles uh, beyond whatever end pole point they want to call, whatever it was over here. That's popping out your ball. You don't get no more new land. Oh, they didn't say they just found an island, right? They Admiral Byrd said he found a continent the size of America, man. Okay, but now we're talking more lands beyond the pole. Yeah, there's a lot of continents the size of America beyond that. Antarctica, and what y'all think Antarctica got to do with the firmament? Don't y'all think Antarctica has something to do with the firmament? I mean, I can't put my finger on everything exactly what's popping, but it seems like there is a point, right? That one dome or however many domes or one great dome or small dome, there's many domes, there's one dome, we don't know. We don't know if it's one dome that covers everything. Some books like the Bro Dizzle 50 Drop, 178 Worlds, I think, something like that, describes a great dome over 178 worlds or planes. And they had smaller domes, and get through the vortexes, through the Antarctica flow. Antarctica plays heavy when it comes to these domes, is all I'm saying. But we're talking more land beyond the pole. And in 1947, U.S. Navy penetrated 1,700 miles beyond the North Pole Point. That's popping out the ball. And beyond the known Earth. Additionally, like that's astronaut stuff is what I'm saying. They had to create NASA and astronauts and spin our mind around and brainwash us and thinking that they're doing astronaut stuff now, but it's the same thing. They're just trying to penetrate further. If they were doing this 1947, how much further have they gotten? How many more Nagas did they roll up on? We're not separated from these other Nagas. It's just in our minds we've been separated. We got connection with our Nagas across the plane, and we know that Nagas exist across the plane. You know we ain't playing, man. You know we got more Nagas across. You know we got more Nagas across the plane. Something in us knows, and they also know too. they also know too. 1,700 miles beyond the North Pole point, beyond the known Earth. Additionally, and more recent confirmation was acquired by the flight of a U.S. Navy air unit on January 13, 1956, which penetrated 2,300 miles over land beyond the South Pole. So they went beyond the North Pole, 1,700 miles, then they went 2,300 miles beyond the South Pole. That's popping out your ball, boss. I'm not going meditate on this, man. This is what they got in our classroom. This is what they gave you as a baby, and they spun it around and had you playing with it. You said, this is the world I'm in. Why would they lie to me? Why would they tell you the truth? Put yourself in the mind of a hijack who has to continue to invade forever, like any parasite in your body, because if it doesn't keep invading, it's going to die. Because it uses up all these resources, and before these resources get magically replenished by nature, by the creator, they try to pop into another part of the body, right? Try to avoid their destruction, eradication. Would you give you the drop if you were a hijack? You know, put yourself in the mind of a hijack. Would you give, as a hijack, would you give you the children of Israel, the real ones? Would you give you the drop about orientation? Nah, you at war, boss. You at war, boss. Do I gotta remind you? Ain't you dodging tenderonis and getting sprayed and fumigated all night, all day? Like, you at war, boss. You think they gave you the blueprint? You think they're gonna give you orientation of the battlefield? You think they're gonna tell you the battlefield looking like this? No, because then you can connect, channel, I don't know, telepathically. If you know what's popping in these other areas, man, if you knew, just your awareness would change everything. You'll be like, hold up, man. This world is much bigger than I thought, man. I'm more connected with my noggins across the planet. You ain't on no spinning ball, man. You wouldn't tell you if you were a hijack the drop. So we're digging on the unfamiliar. We're digging on the hidden, the forbidden. Drop information, the vibration that's been suppressed so it can slay our dragon with the coming together of opposites, which is frequency. And they come with an opposite separating frequency 440 in every faction they can, you know what I mean? Poison our hoods, poison our water, our food supply, do with unnatural stuff, coming together of opposites, GMO, AI. Don't you see the play? This is deep alchemy, man. Deep sorcery. We just got the poem about the necromancer. You in some seer's eye. Their dream. What happened to your reality? You're living in an illusion. There is no space between areas of the created universe, but there must deceptively appear to be space. There is no space, which means there is no space program. Body bag. Say it with me. Body bag for the illusion. There is no space. Whatever between areas of the created universe, there's no space. There's no empty space. But there must deceptively appear to be space. Even with the ether, let the five eyes mop. them trying to abolish the ether with the Michelson Morley experiment, try to eradicate the ether because they can't measure their movement through it, so it must not exist, right? Wrong, Manai. Wrong, Manai. The space is the ether, and space is water. And the water got you surrounded. The ether got you surrounded. Man. Hey, go to Soul Bone Podcast on IG. ThaWaDa was popping off. She had some drop about how they used to drink ether. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. They were addicted to ether. Ether's a big deal. We might have to get that on the disc. Ether's a big deal, man. They've been drinking the ether, man. Hold up, man. Y'all think it's play. ThaWaDa, I'm sorry, man. I gotta do it now. Go to Soul Bone Podcast, man. All right? On IG. You in the mind of you're in the mind of the Queen ThaWaDa over here. She gonna get you right. ThaWaDa gonna get you right, man. So, oh man, which one is it? This one. This is crazy. We just talking to Ether. She says they're using it for a whole lot of purposes, including ingesting. What? What y'all think about this? Science 2 has a cataclysm ahead by Garrett P. Servies. During the course of a discussion on matter, force, and ether, said matter is ether. We're just trying to put this puzzle together. The ether drinking habit. What? What? Vice began in Ireland and spread to England and the continent. The recent death from an overdose of ether. They got too much of that ether. They got too much of that water. Oh, the celebrated Dr. Luz has brought once more into prominence the question of etheromania. What? Have y'all ever heard of etheromania? A few years ago, this vice was limited to England, so they've been dealing with this. But now it has reached the continent. The ether habit, more refined perhaps than the passion for alcohol. So instead of boozing, they was boozing on the ether, man. Come on, man. And this is big in Ireland and Scotland and England. And you ain't never heard about, they talk about drunk driving. The ether habit, more refined perhaps than the passion for alcohol, is beginning to make many victims. Damn. It's like fentanyl to these people. We can count by hundreds now the people who take ether every day. They mix it with alcohol, and in that way obtain a drink that intoxicates rapidly. Wow. The confirmed ether drinkers take it in its purity and in ordinary doses from 8 to 15 grams. The beginners take water before and after their ether, but the hardcore drinking ether drinkers neglect this precaution, which diminishes the burning sensation in the stomach. There are some ether drinkers who take 150 grams at a time. We talking that ether. Tibet's barbed wire entanglement placed about big wireless tower. Yeah, go recon all that old world, Tartaria, mud flood, they all connect this technologies. That apparently they was popping off with the ether, man. They had so much connected to the ether, they were intoxicated by this ether. They ran everything off of it. You know what I mean? So now they had to capitalize and use big oil, big, this and big that, privatize everything, act like we can't pop off with the ether no more. But they had a whole society based on this ether, man. New ether called greatest medical discovery of the age. Doctors trying out, doctors trying out on a cat the new ether discovered and developed by Dr. something Cotton. So, new ether, and they're trying it on a cat. Poor cat, man. He got the drop, though. The ether when you're Auto gets cold feet. Machines with self-starters, what, like push to start? As well as old-fashioned cranks get stalled. What? The slogan of the auctioneer has been appropriated by many St. Louis automobile owners since the present cold spell took them unaware. In the last 3 days, garages and service stations have received hundreds of hurry-up calls from motorists whose cars became stalled because of the low temperature, which decreased the volatility of the gasoline, that it would not respond to the coaxing of the old-fashioned crank of the aristocratic command of the self-starter. So the ether's even playing with the automobiles, man. German infantry sent into battle drugged with ether. What? Lord Northcliffe's repeated assertion of what he saw on the firing line and a scientific explanation of how ether works on the nerves and muscles of a soldier. So they use it as a weapon, they use it to power their cities, and they use it as a drug. Science of America will lead world. San Francisco, November 6, Associated Press. Although it has been believed for more than 2 centuries that ether is of uniform density throughout space. No, now they try to abolish the ether and act like there ain't no ether in outer space because they wanted to try to measure how fast, or, if the Earth is going 67,000 miles per hour, there should be some type of, wind. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're running fast, there's wind factor. Like, you should be interacting with something in space. They knew that was the ether, but then they said, nope, it's a vacuum. So they went from the ether to the vacuum so that they don't have to measure it no more. They can just say, it's a vacuum, so, we can't measure in a vacuum. But if there was something like ether or like water, then you could say, yo, that rocket went through the water. I can see its effect on the water. We should be able to measure its effect on the ether, or the ether's effect on the earth, as this earth is whirling through outer space, which has a uniform density of ether throughout space. We should be able to measure this. This is what the Michelson-Morley experiment's all about. Its density, as a matter of fact, increases outwardly from all the heavenly bodies directly as the radius. Professor T.J.C., the government astronomer at Maury Island near here, asserted in an address to the California Academy of Sciences here last night. Whoa. All right, so I want you to know, like Aqua Thai, I want you to know that the ether ain't no play. This is like taking a penny from a little girl under ether. Ether, ether, man. So this ain't no play. I want you just to understand that these people were drunk off the ether. Everything was ether. Now they want to abolish it and act like it don't exist. But the ether drinking habit did exist. It was popping off in Ireland, Scotland, England. Everybody on the ether. Everybody on the ether. Go hit up the Soul Bone podcast, man, on IG. And look out for us, man. We just, mixing and matching, milking and boxing. You know what I'm saying? Getting it oriented, bringing the, vibration to the cons. It's where a con can be a con and have a conversation. Soul Bone podcast, CJ Battle, Brother Nature, Ty Bass. Let's go. And y'all make sure y'all hit up Ty_battle on IG as well, man. Ty Battle. Or is it battle_Ty? It could be battle_Ty. Try them both. Ty_battle and battle_Ty. Because they both probably got the drive, man. Let's get it. Yosef the Real. Go hit up Yosef the Real. Hey, it's all happening, man. Soul Bone. We're seeing 2 suns in the sky. IBM first 1,000 cubic quantum. We're talking quantum, Columbus, and ether. That's all you need to know about the Soul Bone podcast on IG, man. All right. We'll be back to this, man. So now you know it's real. All right. So there is no space whatsoever between areas of the created universe. Right. We got the ether, bang. But there must deceptively appear to be space in all observations. That apparent space results from illusory illusion, globularity, and isolation. So this isolation of stars in outer space is an illusion. This isolation of balls, spinning balls, is globularity. There are no globes. There are no spheres. None of that is provable. You know what I'm saying? The the circle, the disk that you see of the moon, or the disk that you see of the sun is not a sphere. You never see the dark side of the sun. You never see the dark side of the moon. All that is illusory, globularity, and isolation of celestial sky areas. The same illusory conditions have been proved to develop from observation of luminous outer sky areas of the terrestrial. Outer sky means the sky as it is observed against stratospheric darkness. The concept that the universe is comprised of globular and isolated bodies originated from the curvature that is developed by all lenses. Curvature, fisheye lenses, they artificially develop and manufacture the curve, making it a ball deception. There are no spinning balls in the universe. And that lens developed curvature fosters the deceptive appearance of globular, deceptive appearance of spinning balls of globular and isolated bodies comprising the universe. Deceptive appearance of globular and isolated, quote, bodies comprising the universe. The bodies are illusory. The ancient conclusion of Galileo Galilei that luminous celestial areas are isolated from each other and are circling or ellipsing in space was founded on the inescapable errors of lens functioning. The circling movement apparent to Galileo is an illusion in an endless land, and sky universe of reality. The undulating or billowing of luminous sky gas enveloping the entire universe must deceptively appear as a circling or ellipsing movement. The deceptive appearance develops from the fact that such gaseous sky movement is detected by a circular lens body bag for the illusion. Hence, there is necessary reproduced the circular and therefore globular appearing lens image. So here you go with this deceptive image of spinning balls, planets under the mobile sky gas which extends throughout the celestial realm. There is undetectable but very factual land, water, vegetation, and life. More Nagas beyond the pole. Like that common to this earth. More Nagas beyond the pole. Therefore, the so-called stars and planets of astronomical designation are in reality lens-produced, apparently globular and isolated areas of a continuous and unbroken luminous celestial sky, outer sky surface. Let me get that back for a stack, man. Therefore, the so-called stars and planets of astronomical designation are in reality lens produced, apparently globular and isolated areas of a continuous and unbroken luminous celestial outer sky surface. This physical surface is continuous, whether we're talking water, land, or vegetation, man. Unbroken, luminous. That's why we saw that 65-mile high up, stratosphere picture looking down on a luminous New Mexico. It looked like a bunch of stars and quasars and planets, man. Like, that's just the lens deception, especially with these Curved lenses, lens produced apparently globally, isolated areas, illusion. It envelopes every land area of the celestial in the same manner that it envelopes the terrestrial land. It envelopes every land area of the celestial in the same manner that it envelopes the terrestrial land. Same land, water, and vegetation. One may question how such features were known when science was without record of them. If so, one has but to finish reading this chapter, which adequately describes how, when, and where. He's going to go into, it was October 1926. So all this recon is stemming back to the 20s. Now, it's important because this is about 20 years before this 1946, 1947, this, upheaval, this upheaval of this deception that really, hit a whole new height. The 20s, just like what GE Kincaid and the Grand Canyon, was all about exploration, man. And they still, kept their secrets and were sweeping whatever, but there wasn't enough aware Nagas for them to have to cover up too much. It's like awareness really started increasing in the 40s and 50s, and here comes NASA. Here comes the Antarctica Treaty, right? God. We're just talking Admiral Burr. Let's get back in these flat earth clues. Mark Sargent, Flat Drop 101.
A year later, the United States and Russia found the upper edge. From there, the math was easy. And moreover, you could actually see the real world. Then, of course, there is the decision, or deception, depending on how you looked at it. The authority made the call to hide the actual shape of where we live, then sealed off the outer edge from prying eyes, and created the space program not only to reinforce the globe model, but to control it.
Bang.
There was really only one reason they cared about this, and it takes a while to process. So let's look at the immediate effects of actual disclosure and work our way up to the authorities' biggest fear. For this exercise, we'll look at releasing the news today instead of, say, 1958. While 1958 would have been easier, it's much more relevant and entertaining to explain it in modern terms. We start with a press conference by, let's say, the United Nations, who have discovered that the world is indeed enclosed in a giant high-tech dome of unknown origin and age. The public reacts with wonder and awe, trying to take in the sheer scope of this announcement. Facebook crashes, Twitter crashes, entire mobile networks crash. It's like hitting a beehive with a sledgehammer. News organizations around the world send teams to the outer edge to confirm the finding, and the general public is glued to their media devices. That's the good news, the excitement, the revelation, the positive shock. Then the bad news starts coming in waves, some of which you might not expect. The first is the immediate disbanding of NASA and all other world space programs, for obvious reasons. Most governments will secretly pardon these groups and keep them immune from class action lawsuits, the lawsuits themselves coming from NASA investment groups, claiming fraud. Regardless, everyone at NASA, despite their good intentions, is out of a job overnight. And this is where you would say, good, they deserve it. About time they stopped lying to everyone. Oh, but it doesn't stop there, because every contractor and subcontractor that are exclusively tied to NASA, they have to shut down as well. Fine, a few thousand jobs lost, no big deal. And the ripples continue to spread, some bigger than others. Observatories all over the world closed their doors, and the reasoning is this. If you've been looking at the ceiling for decades and couldn't tell it was a ceiling, then what good are you? Every university in the world that has an astronomy or astrophysics program, well, they don't anymore. Stephen Hawking, his book writing days are over. Carl Sagan, No more nova in syndication, I guarantee it. Those professors are going to have to retool their skills and be prepared to answer one giant question. How did you not see it? Weren't there clues? People start finger pointing, and it will continue for years. And still, my fellow flat earthers will say, well, hell, that doesn't sound too bad. So some nerds around the world lose their jobs. So what? You don't get off that easy, is what? Finger pointing at the now defunct NASA will then turn to finger pointing at the government, who directed the whole thing. This is where we run into some dangerous ground, involving things like the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, and the Ring of Power. And you say, you lost me. I was with you until you started bringing up religious artifacts from movies. And you're supposed to be lost. Of the 5 major religions we mentioned earlier, those being Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, none have been able to produce a supernatural object over the last 5,000 years. And trust me, it would be beneficial to do so. The Ark of the Covenant would benefit Judaism, the Holy Grail Christianity, and the Ring of Power, well, that benefits someone else. Maybe I'll leave alone for now. The point is that all religions are actively seeking their leverage against science. You've heard of the division between church and state. Well, here it is. Advantage church. The barrier becomes a giant religious symbol, and since it is backed by the Big Five, it also becomes universal. The Big Five then go into their drawer with the good silver and pull out this belief that was forgotten but not lost, and say, we knew it all along, and science lied to us. Temporarily, all religions unite against science, who has been only moderately weakened by the removal of their astronomy and astrophysics divisions. But the public won't care, because they will listen to the group shouting the loudest, and no one yells louder than the church. They will scream with righteous fury that the dome was built by our God, your God, and the people will turn to science and hear nothing but crickets. And that's where the world changes, because in times of great stress, the public will want words, and while religion has no shortage of them, science simply is incapable of taking leaps of faith. I'll take a glass half full approach and say that anyone listening to this is probably an intelligent, rational person, one who can make informed decisions outside of the conventional doctrine. But for every one of you, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of mouth-breathing troglodytes who will not walk but run to the respective house of religion and say, you were right about this. What else can you teach me? This is what fills the current authority with pause. The unknown response to that question. Will religion take the high road and work with what remains of science to discover the truth? It's possible, I suppose. It's also possible that religion will combine this technologically advanced society with a revitalized and aggressive doctrine that then transforms daily life into something that makes the book 1984 seem like a Saturday morning cartoon show. I'm hoping that mankind will prove me wrong, but so far, that isn't the case. So do some of your own research and ask questions. Please feel free to email me at msargent23@comcast.net or
Hey,
303
hit up
494.
Mark, man. Hit up Mark, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't hit up Drive. Hit up Mark. Mark got the investigation popping up. Don't. Mark try to tell you ain't on no spinning ball. It's always just you never seen no water curving to the ball. You can't prove no curvature on this land. No bridges from here to here. Curve their bridges 8 inches per mile to stay on the ball, to stay with the curvature of the land. No railroads from LA to New York are curving the railroads. Engineering curvature for a 3,000 mile trip like I used to take with my pops and moms to visit my family in upstate New York. You know what I'm saying? Those tracks aren't curving, boss. The water's not curving from here to Hawaii. You're not going over some lump of curved water. Airplanes aren't going upside down. They're not dipping their nose of the plane and stay on the ball and not fly off. They're going flat, straight, airplane. Right. So that's all we saying. Why doesn't the blue of Earth reflect onto the moon's surface? I told you I would get back in this drop, man. This is the flat Earth, a plain truth from the ancients to the Abrahamic Bibles to modern times. James W. Lee, iconoclast. Okay, all right, interesting choice of words. Why doesn't the blue of Earth reflect onto the moon's surface? How can golden warm sunlight reflect off a dusty gray surface of the moon? Let's go. The sun from 93 million kajillion miles away is said to reflect off of the moon onto Earth. The moon is 238,000 miles from Earth and from a great dusty surface, then reflects yellow, white moonlight evenly across the round ball Earth. The big question is then, why doesn't the deep blue marble of Earth shine blue onto the moon as if it is four times larger, than the moon and also reflecting off the sun nearly the same distance away? I've never heard anyone ask this most basic question before, much less get a plausible answer. Right, because, this earth is, got this sun, beaming off of it. Why doesn't the moon beam off of this blue marble light? Right, they're always showing this blue marble just shining this blue watery ball. And this dusty gray reflective moon never shines any of this blue. That's a good question. Okay, he's right. People don't really ask that. Gray is one of the least reflective surfaces after black. Science tells us that the pale gray round ball moon reflects golden sun evenly across the surface of Earth on a full moon. The full moonlight is so bright that one can see clearly at night. The light is silvery and cool, not warm and golden. Again, if the moon is reflecting the sun, it doesn't change the property of the light. Just like any other, if you reflected the sun off of any other reflection, mirror, whatever, it's still going to be warm property. It's not going to be a cooler property. And you could do this experiment yourself. Take a thermometer on a good full moon, right? Put one thermometer, hide it like underneath a car or whatever, like just to block it from the moonlight. And then put the thermometer right into the moonlight and see which one will be cooler, right? And we've shown these experiments throughout the years with the moon's own light, showing clearly that the moon's shade is going to be warmer than anything hitting the moonlight. It's going to be cooler. It has the opposite property of light than the sun, and that's impossible. If we're just talking about a reflection, it must, be getting its light elsewhere or be its own luminary. Or recently we, talked about the black sun, the black sun, within the earth, possibly being a source of the moonlight or the northern lights, right? So, this investigation, the investigation continues. Flat drop 101. The full moonlight is so bright that one can see clearly at night, right? So one, how can a round ball reflecting the sun not have a hot spot? Good question. It seems like one of them spots, right, it's going to be his eye, right? Because, the sun's beaming on it, right? So, how can something round reflect evenly across another round ball object? Hmm. Okay, what else? These are great questions. To hijack said, yeah, how could they walk on the moon if the sun reflection was so intense that it can light up the earth at night from 238,000 miles away at night, boss? The reflection of the sun's hot light, right, is so intense, reflecting off this moon, that this moonlight can just light up the earth at night from 238 miles away. But you could walk on the moon. Not the dark side, right? The light side. Okay. 4. If the earth is 4 times larger than the moon, why doesn't the blue marble reflect blue onto the moon? Why is moonlight warmer in the shade than in direct light? Ooh. For about $30, you can go to your favorite hardware store, pick up a thermal laser that will measure the temperature of whatever you aim it at. During a full moon, you could take heat readings of both the full moonlight and the moon's shade or shadows, right? We just talked about this. You will discover that the moonlight and the shadows are several degrees warmer than in the direct sunlight. The simple experiment proves that the sun cannot be reflecting off the moon as we have been told. So you will discover that the moonlight and the shadows are several degrees warmer than in the direct, well, I think they mean moonlight, but the moon's supposed to be reflecting the sunlight. All right, so it will be warmer in the shade than it would be with direct moonlight, you know what I'm saying? Because the moonlight is cooling the surface, which is the opposite of the sun. The sun's light is golden, warm, drying, preservative, and antiseptic, while the moon's light is silver, cool, damp. It's interesting, right? Because sometimes you wake up and there's that little dew, right? You got that dew, you got that, dew on your grass, that type of thing, and it's connected with the moon's light. While the moon's light is silver, cool, damp, putrefying, and septic, the sun's rays decrease the combustion of a bonfire, while the moon's rays increase combustion. Whoa, did you know? Did you know? The sun's rays decrease the combustion of a bonfire, while the moon's rays increase combustion. So you light that bonfire at night, right? Popping off. Plant and animal substances exposed to sunlight quickly dry, shrink, coagulate, and lose the tendency to decompose and putrefy. Grapes and other fruits become solid, partially candied, and preserved like raisins, dates, and prunes. Animal flesh coagulates, loses its volatile gaseous constituents, becomes firm, dry, and slow to decay. When exposed to moonlight, however, plant and animal substances tend to show symptoms of putri- putrefaction and decay. In direct sunlight, a thermometer will read higher than another thermometer placed in the shade. But in full direct moonlight, a thermometer will read lower than another placed in the shade. If the sun's light is collected in a large lens and thrown to a focus point, it can create significant heat, while the moon's light, collected similarly, creates no heat. It's completely opposite property. It can't be a reflection of another property and then switch properties based on the reflection. That's a fallacy, boss. In the Lancet Medical Journal from March 14, 1856, particulars are given of several experiments which proved the moon's rays, when concentrated, can actually reduce the temperature upon a thermometer more than 8 degrees. What? That's the opposite property of sunlight. So the moon is its own luminary. It NASA wants us to believe these are two balls and one's reflecting off the other ball, bouncing off this ball. These are greater light and lesser light. Genesis. Hit the easy button. It's that simple. No cap on my number 2 pencil. So sunlight and moonlight clearly have altogether different properties, and therefore the moon itself cannot physically be both a spherical body and a reflector of the sun's light. Reflectors must be flat or concave for light rays to have any angle of incidence. If a reflector's surface is convex, then every ray of light points in a direct line with the radius perpendicular to the surface, resulting in no reflection balls. Eric DeBay, you got to drop. Man, I'm just popping into this joint, man. We're gonna come back and dig on some more from Flat Earth, the Plain Truth, from the ancients to the Abrahamic Bibles in modern times. You see me, man. We're just enjoying the flow, surfing the wave. I'm just talking about a vault, man. Hey, Shabbat Shalom to the cons. This is for us to rest up with and break away from Hijack City. Have a conversation or two. Isaiah 40:22. It is he who sits. I'm in the lexicon, right? Okay. Dwells. He who dwells. Let's try to decipher with the lexicon, with the Ibaru. Isaiah chapter 40. It is he who dwells above or upon. And ain't it something that above is Allah? I'm just digging on the Hebrew. So when they're calling on God in Christianity and Allah in Islam, it's a generic term. It's not the creator's name, right? It's a term for above. Now, above could be anybody. We rock with Most High over everything. How above does their above get? Does it get above the celestial? Does it get above the barrier? Does it get above the vault? Does it get above the horizon? The circle of the earth, or the vault of the earth, the dome of the earth? And how does the vault turn into the ball? The circle become a ball. You could draw a circle without drawing a ball. You're drawing in 2D, 2 dimension. How does the vault of heaven become this, man? Like this is this. Where's your firmament, man? You believe you're on this thing? Where's your firmament? Where's your vault? Where's your solid expanse? Rakia, I beat it out. I meted it out. The handiwork of HaWah, right? The handiwork of HaWah. You've been ignoring the handiwork of HaWah. You ain't seeking. You ain't seeking HaWah. You ignoring the vault at the horizon of the earth. And again, man, we gotta be careful. All my niggas that, where you at and into what you into, man. You in this church, you in that mosque, you in this temple, whatever you into, man. But look, when you call on these generic titles, going back to the Ibaru, which predates the Arabic, my nigga, right? This all is referring to above, over. But over what? How over? How above? How high do you go? Anyone can intercept this, right? And be called on. They can trick any of us into calling on something above. They can put themselves above us and have us worship them as their Allah, their above. No, we got to take it home to our breath and our security, something that they cannot hijack. HaWah. You don't hear them calling on HaWah. No churches, no mosques, no temples, which let me know HaWah is hijack free. We're talking the fifth and the sixth letter of the Picto Hebrew. And you don't get it without walking through that door together as you gather your family with that strong power, that leader, that all, that L is the leader, the most high above. Most high above all, MHAA, love the five eyes. Look out for most high above all, most high over everything. Like, we're making our Nagas an offer they can't refuse, man. Most high over everything. We can all get down and cold with that. Because this is what you start with your strong power. You need most high over everything in your house, in your family, in your tribe. You want to be a black community without most high over everything. You got all these other guys, all these other hijacks in the way. JC and this and that. You can't gather and walk together. Two can't walk together shoulder to shoulder unless they agree on what? The strong power, the leader. HaWah, most high over everything. So that's when you can walk through a door, an entrance, a portal. And after that vortex, you got mama, not no man. You got big mama with that breath. That's what you can call on because that's the first frequency you got when you came through the doors. You got the you got to breathe again. Why they gotta change it to the Vav? Why they gotta change it to VAV? And then Yah, right? Why they change the Wahs to Yahs? It switches the frequency. Because they're not talking about the Yad, which means to worship. The creator's name ain't worship. The creator's name is the breath, my naga. The security, my naga. That's why all these Strong's Concordance, H1961, when they are mentioning Lord and God in the Bible, keep going back to these H1961s or some variant of it, because that's what they're getting to the Hayas or the Hawas, my naga. Now we're getting specific with awareness, with the breath. We didn't have that before. You're calling on Yah, you're calling on something after you got your food, after you got your cut off. If you didn't get your creator before everything was cut off, where you were nourished and you got to cut off the hijack and build a wall, the yad is on the other side of the wall. Your HaWah should be on the inside of the wall. The tent peg, the security, the breath, the revelation. Now you can go through that entrance, right? Over and over again and get the wow. So they got us, calling on generic titles above God. You know what I mean? So we gotta be careful, man. Just like turning circle to ball when we just talking a vault. And where's your vault on a spinning ball? Where's your horizon, your vault of heaven? Where's your dome, your firmament? Where's the separation from the waters and the waters? Why should I separate the waters from the waters? This don't make no sense on no spinning ball traveling 67 thousand miles per hour. Yeah. Why is dwelling above or over or upon the vault of the earth or the land, the vault of the land, the vault of the land. Hawa dwells upon the vault of the land. See, that's a different translation, right? We just in the lexicon, the Hebrew. Haaretz sounds like hertz, right? 432. Haaretz, hertz, eretz, earth. Frequency, your hertz, your eretz should be the frequency of the eretz, right? The earth. the vibration natural by law, right? Of the eretz, the ha. What's the ha, man? Ain't we studying he? Managa, is we studying Hebrew or are we studying with a dragonfly perspective? What's the ha? The hey is the breath, the look, the revelation. So the ha, eretz, starts with the breath, the revelation. It's getting deeper. The ha, you need that breath, right? So, okay. Like Hakan is that calm with that extra breath, right? That revelation, that priest, right? So the creator dwells upon the vault of the land, and its inhabitants remain, uh, I guess like grasshoppers. So HaWah's looking down, and the inhabitants are small, right? Like grasshoppers, who stretches to stretch out, spread out, extend, who extends, inclines, or bends. Bends what? The sky, the heaven, the vault, like a curtain. Shamayim, the heavens, are bent. The vault of heaven is bent like a tent, right? Like a curtain. Spreads to spread out, flat, right? Plain, right? Like a tent. Monaga, it don't get no realer than this. It don't get no realer in terms of a clear depiction with eyes to see of the earth plane, of the cosmology. Yeah. Like a twin to dwell in, to remain in. So it's an enclosure. You are dwelling in the firmament, the stars, the moon are in dwelling in the tent. HaWah spreads the heavens like a tent. The heavens, just like we got the Egyptian cosmology last time, with their goddess Nut being spread out with the stars within her. She's spread out like the tent, like a canopy, like a curtain. Do we see clearly what dwells in the firmament? Like a tent, the circle, the vault. Kaug refers to something round, like the dome, like the firmament. So HaWah is dwelling, remaining upon or above it, the vault of the land, of the earth, and spreading it out, stretching it out, bending it, extending it, the sky, the heaven, like a tent, my noggin, like a tent. And that ain't just what we see here. That ain't what we see here. We don't see no tent, no canopy. We don't see nothing described in the scripture, in the Torah, Tanakh. We don't see no correlation with this ball. This ball is not reflected in any verse in the entire Tanakh, my nigga. But yet we got all these verses: firm, fixed, immovable, firm, fixed, immovable, firm, fixed, immovable. Right? First Chronicles 16. He has fixed the earth firm, immovable, fixed, not spinning on a ball, fixed. Psalms 93:1. Thou hast fixed the earth, immovable, firm, fixed. Psalms 96:10. He has fixed the earth, immovable. Nope, nope. Spinning ball. Gotta be a spinning ball. Immovable, fixed. Psalm 104, that has fixed the earth on its foundation. What foundation, boss? I'm on a spinning ball, 100 miles per hour. 1,000 miles per hour, going 67,000 miles per hour in the vacuum of space. There ain't no ether. There is nothingness. Nah, boss. Where's the foundation? HaWah said, this is HaWah's handiwork, man. HaWah said, I got foundations. It is fixed. It is immovable, so it can never be shaken. Some jabroni left a comment, what about earthquakes? What about earthquakes? All right, man. You got us, man. There is some movement to the earth sometimes when the dragons wake up. When the dragons wake up. But they don't shake the actual foundations. They're just shaking the land masses. We're talking about the foundations, boss. Do the earthquakes, is there measurement where you see the foundations of the earth shaking when the earthquakes are shaking? Or is it just, the continental plates or whatever you want to call it, right? So we're not talking foundations when we're talking earthquake. Stop being on the play, man. Jabroni City. I'm about to turn your lights out, man. Isaiah 45:18, who made the earth and fixed, right? Fashioned it and himself fixed it fast. Come. Take a breath, man. Take a breath. Psalm 102, the heavens, Shamayim, were thy handiwork. And we just got that the heavens are stretched. The heavens stretched out the heavens. Shamayim. Stretched out. Spread out, extended, inclined, bended. The heavens are bent. This is the handiwork. To ignore Allah's handiwork, man, you must be thoughtless. This don't reveal or reflect no handiwork of the Creator, no solid expanse that is stretched out like a tent, bent. This is a ball. This ain't no tent. There ain't no foundations, so it cannot be shaken. You're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, boss. And 1,000 miles per hour is 1,000 miles per hour. You're going over 60,000 miles per hour, trying to catch up with a sun that's going over 400,000 miles per hour. Managa, you tripping. If you think you're on something that has foundations that cannot be shaken, you are tripping. That don't reveal the handiwork. Psalms 19, the heavens, Shamayim, tell out the glory of HaWah, the vault of heaven. Rakia reveals his handiwork. Handiwork. With my right hand I formed the expanse of the sky. Shamayim, Isaiah 48. And again, man, yeah. Can you beat out Rakah, the vault of the skies, as he does? Hard as a mirror of cast metal? Job 37. So, that's just the body bag for the illusion. We're talking about something hard. Can you beat it out, the vault? Do you see a vault that's been beat out in your ball? It's a hard, solid expanse. Even in the New Testament, it starts bringing up crystals and lapis lazuli, the throne of the Creator. There's lapis lazuli crystals and all that, because the firmament is made of these crystals. The word rakia comes from rakwa, meaning beaten out. So if that's the Hebrew root word we're dealing with, it is physical. Brass objects were either cast in the form required or beaten into shape. So you're talking something physical. Elihu's question shows that the Hebrews considered the vault of heaven a solid, physical object. Body bag, body bag. Solid, physical. I don't see no firmament. You just saying the atmosphere, boss. There's nothing solid about that or physical about that. That's not an object. That doesn't show the handiwork that's been beaten out. That doesn't show the Shamayim, the heavens being spread out like a tent. The vault of heaven, Kia, reveals his handiwork. That lets you know you got a creator, not some Big Bang theory. That lets you know you got a creator who builds for you, who creates a separation when necessary, like the expanse, like the vault, the water from the water. Everything HaWah said HaWah do, it's evident, but they gave us a ball, Copernican theory, hijack city. They coming with Copernicus on the knock. Copernicus heliocentrism is the astronomical model developed by Nicolaus Copernicus and published 1543. So this is right after the hijack invasion. Charles Canto, black ass King Charles, Columbus and all them, 1492. Here they come with their hijack. Illusory globular balls. Remember, you're in some seer's eye. Worlds beyond the poles. This model positioned the sun at the center. And now you can talk about the child of the sun, Esteban, Helios, Zeus, Jupiter, Ezeus, Jesus. Go through the sun to get to the Father. Man, Christians ain't worried about the Creator. They worried about the sun. If the Creator came back without the sun, they would be disappointed. The Creator come back, hey, I got you, my children, I got you. They're like, yeah, but scoot over, man. Move out the way. Where's JC, man? Where's the sun? I gotta go through the sun to get to you. The Creator's like, I'm here for you, to save you. I'm your savior. Yeah, but we gotta go through this. We gotta check in with JC before we holler at you, big homie. You're like, damn, hijack city. Now you gotta go through the sun. Sun at the center of the universe, right? So they came with their dogma telling you to go through this sun at the same time as they came with their dogma telling you that the sun is at the center. Do you see Hijack City? Do you see the play? Now, back then, the sun was supposed to be motionless. And now we look up how fast the sun is going. It's going to say 450,000. I mean, how do you go from motionless? How fast is, hold on. How fast is the sun moving again? Come on, bro. Come on, brother. 450,000, right? How you go from motionless to 450,000 miles per hour, boss? I'll wait. They can't make their minds up. We're gonna get more into this heliocentrism, worshiping Helios, sun god, bananas, banana fana, for fana, you know what I mean? Hijack City. This is what they want to put us on. But this don't show no handiwork, boss. This don't show no handiwork. This don't reveal the handiwork of the Shamayim being pulled like a tent. Like a tent. Spread like a tent, right? Yeah, you don't see no tent in this hijack globe. So you gotta dodge all hijacks at all costs. At all costs, man. Ignition. Ignition, boss. I'm yeah. Let's check in right here. You know what I mean? As we make a great dismount, man. I'm just keeping the orientation pies going around the house, man. For the cons.
Is Mercury. We're just talking about Mercurius or Mercator.
Uh-oh, boss.
Who would want you to not know about Thoth the Moving Island? I'll wait. Raise your hand. Oh, exactly. Thoth. Thoth wouldn't want you to know where to find Thoth.
Lego.
The moving island. Just popping off. Maybe it's a spaceship. Looked at the bro King Chap. He said, man, maybe, these lands are spaceships. I'm digging it, man.
K Chan with it, dude.
Let's go, man. So Thoth is there saying, Thoth is Mercury, right? Thoth is Mercury. Look it up, man. And now we're dealing with a Mercator projection that gives you a skewed perspective of things. This is what you grow up seeing. Now they're focusing on this in the Gale Peters projection, which shows Africa way bigger, South America way bigger. Look how big Greenland is up here. But we're going to see what the real projection would be looking like according to Gale Peters. Bang, you got Greenland, it's more, it's much smaller. North America and South America way bigger. Africa way bigger. And little Europe. When you look at this, you see why they feel like their nads are pretty small. They got to cover their nads. They have to say, we're European, boss. When we look at it like this, you're like, damn, y'all Europeans are running the world? You're popping up on all this land talking about I'm European. This ain't even all the land, boss. We just got to have some perspective. Y'all popping up on all this land, inner earth, or, yeah, I guess they would call it inner. This would be more inner. Man, talking about we Europeans. And then we say, damn, you're not even the European. Why would you blast off $1 million nuke into mother sucking outer space? Does it make sense? You just lost a nuke, man. Unless you plan on hitting something.
Aircraft, together with destroyers, provided the security and safety surveillance of the extensive danger area surrounding the theater of operations. There were many other sites at remote locations throughout the Pacific Ocean basin, designed, constructed, and oriented to observe and record the phenomena associated with each test. These were located at such widespread geographical locations as the Hawaiian Islands, New Zealand, Fairbanks, Okinawa, Rarotonga, Trinidad, French Frigate Shoals, Kwajalein, Tonga, the Aleutians, Wake, Palo Alto, Fiji, Midway, Palmyra, Christmas, Canton, and American Samoa. This particular site at Tutuila in American Samoa is representative of the many set up to record test data from the Southern Magnetic Conjugate area. The station was established here to observe and record such things as debris distribution, magnetic and electric field measurements.
Debris because of impact. Impact on what, man? You're shooting in the sky. Unless you know you're shooting into the fishbowl, right? The firmament, boss.
Cosmic noise absorption. Optical measurements of the burst and of the fluorescence created by beta rays and bomb debris. Plus extensive photographic coverage of the size, intensity, and motion of the conjugate point auroral phenomena. This, basically, is a capsulized breakdown of the instrumentation designed for the collection of the great mass of data required from the high-altitude phase of Operation Dominic.
They are blasting bombs into... Why not? If they did this shit today with taxpayer dollars and took multi-million-dollar missiles and just lost their ass in space and say, we hoping for some impact, boss, and we gonna take that debris, boss, and we gonna learn about it in our science measurement tools. How much is that gonna cost? such and such billion of your money
Come on, man.
to
Come on.
lose nukes in the vacuum of space. Look, if you say it's a vacuum, it's a vacuum, right? Don't make it not a vacuum. If you say you got gravity, you got gravity. If you say the earth is moving, you got to prove it, man. The onus is on you to prove the movement, prove we spinning, prove gravity, which they couldn't do. It's still a theory. To this day, it's still a theory. But you teach it to our children like it's a fact, like it's a law, when it's just a theory. So with a dragonfly 360-degree perspective, we too can have theories in Drop Nation. And hey, call it entertainment. Let's go.
Fair use in your caboose ball.
No technologies.
They lost the technology to go to the moon,
Go
boss.
to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology.
I thought we were evolving. Technology's evolving.
Come on, brother.
70s, we get to the moon, no problem. 50 years later, we lost the technology. 50 years later.
Come on, bro.
And you should have McDonald's on the moon. Jetsons popping off. Or are they dumbing us down with these dumbasses while they pop off in more worlds beyond the poles? High tech, high tech.
Ping, pow.
We're trying to get back to the moon for 50 years while they're going to more worlds beyond the pole.
Mm,
You lost. You lost the technologies
mm,
to
mm.
get back to the moon, boss.
Go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. We're also really pushing the boundaries in terms of where we're going forward with exploration. I think humans are naturally driven to do this.
Exploration, right?
And this is really the beginning, I think, of human beings leaving low Earth orbit.
Bang. The
Dang.
beginning of human beings leaving low Earth orbit. That doesn't encompass the moon, Mars, Jupiter. They're still trying to get through the Van Allen radiation.
Damn.
But they supposedly had it figured out 50 years before this, 40 years.
Mm-mm-mm.
But this is the beginning of human beings leaving low Earth orbit. Make it make sense, boss.
Ignition, ball. Y'all go get that drop. I'm going to leave a link to Flat Drive 101 Ignition. Can rockets work in a vacuum of space? And, you'll see we've been talking about this for a long time. Boss. Hey, man. We out of here, baby. They're going to couple y'all comments, man. Hey, Janine Janine of y'all. Okay. Shalom, beloved brother 432, the drop. You're leaving us with a strong landing. So until we skibbity pop with some new drop, well, I'm loving your style. Hey, we just surfing wave. ThaWaDa for your support, your energy. Neck, what it do? Dog head, man. Maybe you left a link to a dog head, man. All right, I'm gonna leave the link up. Y'all dig on it. I like how you brought up dog heads, because since you talking dog heads, we gonna talk dog heads, man. For the dismount. How about that? Wildfire. Gee, what a tune. Hey, Abijari. Yeah, man. Vibrates a frequency. YH the star vibrates a frequency. We're talking frequency talk, man. Hey, up to Mac Dre. And this flower, is this flower the egg? Investigate, drop. Oh, we just talking about what Terrence Howard talking about. We're talking about flower of life, seed of life, and technological singularity, man. We all got to investigate. AI Real 4929. Tammy Lynn, what it do? It's called The Cube. Okay, she dropping on a timestamp. All right, I'm going to dig on that. Hey, Tammy Lynn. Why, Tyrone Lewis. Appreciate you, man. Drake Tosh, what it do? Yeah, me and Shala have been reading the Torah portion most Shabbat Shalom. This drop reminds me of watching the ones back then with the 1972 military image of the Earth plane with the 432 sounds in the background. Much of for taking the time off and G forward fresh again. You know what I mean? My Naga talking island talk to a Naga. I appreciate you, Drake Tosh, the Tosh family, Aqua Shyla. What they do? HaWah, awesome video. Hey, everybody's digging that flat drop. Something special about it, right? I mean, when we do it, we do it right. You know what I'm saying? We truly do enjoy having a dragonfly perspective. Hey, I'm Copper No Sis. Can anyone unscramble the name Lone Scum? I haven't unscrambled it, but you know, go ahead and give us a clue or something, man. I don't play Scrabble. I don't play Scrabble. Yeah, TikTok, two tick Rick. What it do, two tick Rick? I want to know exactly what it spins, starts, and stops. Okay, you want to know about the ball? Everyone that believes we're on a ball and spinning get asked that by me, and they literally freeze up, and you can see the realization come over their face as their noodle is baking. So, boss, exactly where does this spin start and stop? Spin got to start somewhere. Two tick Rick, what it do, man? Two tick Rick. They not gonna tell you about those new systems. He's spilling the beans. Yeah. We got a lot of beans spilling all over the floor around here. Clean up on our such and such, on our hijack, man. Data Dodge, or shout out to Streets Music Medium and Data Dog 1886. How about quantum? Quantum recon of magnetic flux density, particle induction movement techniques, and the frequency response control systems. It came out of my dragon. All praise to why MHA. Clearly the cons popping off in the quantum. And I don't know what that is, but I know it has something to do with something real. I know we're talking about reality. Man. Juan Gordy, what it do? All praise the creator and mama. Shout out to Mike Payne. Hey, you got the drop, man. Hey, shout out to Creative Sand Productions. All praise and glory to the Most High. See, cons over here, man. We just love giving praise to the Most High over everything directly. No hijack in between. No hijack. Shout out to Pomo Alba. I know it's a better way to say it. Maybe work on a much larger plane or plate. Oh, he's time stamping. Okay. Hey, Ulysses Jackson, what it do, Ulysses? You are my witnesses, says Hawaii, my servant, whom I have chosen, that you know and understand that I am he, and before me there was no God. Come on, bring it out. Bring it out. Neither shall there be after me. I am Hawaii, beside me there is no Savior. Come on, God. It's all we're trying to get him to see. Most high over everything. Thus says Hawaii, the king of Yisrael, Hasharah, and his redeemer Hawaii of Sabaoth. I am the first and I am the last, and beside me there is no God. There is no God. Is there an Eloah beside me with the italics? There is no rock. I know not any Yashuyahu. Isaiah 43. Okay, yeah, he's talking about Isaiah 43:10. Yeah. I mean, y'all go get the drop, man. He said, where did this Ezos come from, man? I'm trying to tell him, man. Go ahead and pop off Kanye. This kind of cons we enjoy over here in Drop Nation. During Walker Chamay, remember, he got that mem sauce. Shout out State of Course. Oh, man, all the cons, man. Yeah, JC the Truth, man. Instead of Cook, we talking about Coon needs to rise. Buddha Kim West, Yusef, Yes Real, what it do, Zion Train, everybody's firm fixing the movable Black Wall Street project, Ray Zulueta, what it do, all the family, JW, man, Lauren, Gianna, we appreciate all y'all tie bats. You already know, man. Top of the soul. Top of the soul. And hey, Yannick talking dog heads to us, man. Yannick talking dog heads. So I'm just gonna belly flop on out of here with the dog heads, man. I'm surfing the wave, man. Just like y'all been surfing the wave. And some of the older drops, I've been doing the same thing because we done covered so much, man. We done forgot more than some of these jabronis have ever remembered, man. So let's get to it, man. Dog heads, hey, you're up, man. It's y'all time to shine. Let's talk sinus and filers. You got the links. We're talking on leprosy and Baal and how that connects with syphilis or sinus and filers dog-headedness. And just getting some factoids that might be connecting something very interesting about the daughters of Moab. Let's go. Put this man. Pull up this link. Endemic treponematosis. So we're talking syphilis. At least we can talk a little sciencey, a little bit. Get medical on them. Bring it back to the reality of what's popping. We're just talking the dog gene. We're talking the dog curse. And when you have sex with dogs, you transmit it in a venereal fashion. Damn. When you are a dog, you get it because you've been cursed with this particular disease. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. Okay. The agents of human treponematosis include 4 closely related members of the genus Treponema, 3 subspecies, Treponema pallidum plus Treponema caritium. Alright. T. pallidum, all that. Pallidum causes venereal syphilis. So pallidum causes venereal syphilis, while T. pallidum suspect pertenu. Alright. Alright, man. Are the agents and the endemic trypanomatosis, y'all. So y'alls is another word for the syphilis or sinusitis. All right, these are all, more code words, right? What else is another word for? Baal, right? I can't make this up. Remember the J's and the Y's are interchangeable, so just put the Y right there. You got Baal. Just so you know, I'm not tripping. Pull up these links, man. All right, this is the medical medicine in the Bible and Talmud selections from classical Jewish sources by Fred Rosner. And just go right to it, man. I mean, look, man. I didn't have to do nothing. Belly flop. Let's go. I have not read this at all. But we're still just talking this plague, right? The plague which befell the children of Israel when they committed harlotry with the daughters of Moab. I can't believe how how much of an easy lay this is, man. And we're just talking about easy lays. Come on, man. Come on, man. I can't make this shit up, man. Come on, man. Body bag, Daniel. Body bag for the illusion. This is a body bag.
This man.
I'm just saying, why is this thing called Baal? I recon it for the Y instead of the J. Here we go. Baal, the yaws or jaws, huh? Jaws like dogs, like dog jaws. Dogs have, everyone got jaws, but dogs jaws. All right, jaws of dogs. Baal. And then, of course, you break that down to the bays and the L's, right? The bay and L's. Such and such bay, such and such L, right? Yeah. And of course, you're just talking the more Moab. And again, we're just talking Estebanico Zamore from Morocco, or Syphilis. What Native American shepherd? Columbus is famous for bringing syphilis across the water. And until we recon this Native American shepherd called Syphilis, who must have been kidnapped and brought across the water, connected with the dog-headed, right, St. Christopher, connected with the Stephen or Esteban or Estebanico, who might have been kidnapped when he was 6 years old, brought across the water. Then he was told, oh, I am the child of the Son, right? I am the Christ child. I'm the shepherd. What does he do? He comes back and he, is used to find cities of gold with the Coronado expedition looking for Cibola, right? Shambhala, 7 cities of gold. We've been surfing the wave, man. But Esteban is Stephen, is syphilis, possibly, right? So we're just looking at it. And syphilis is a Native American. Okay. Syphilis is a Native American. Also connected with this Bay L, same as Estevanico, Zamore, connected with the Bay L, connected with the what? Syphilis, connected with who? Moab, and the plague which befell the children of Israel when they committed harlotry with the daughters of Moab is referred to as Magafah. Magafah, a term denoting plague, epidemic, infectious disease in general. When the Israelite brothers went in with the daughters of Moab, they got plagued with what? Leprosy. They got plagued with what? Baal. And it's deeper than a disease, man. They really, a lot of the Israelite brothers started worshiping false gods because of these daughters of Moabs would take them and introduce them to their to their energies, and they would start going after false gods. It was more than just sex, man. It was like you're hijacking our bros, man, which is hijacking the whole tribe with your Baal, Moab, Magafa. Now, they're saying that it was a plague, right? Epidemic, infectious disease. Presumably, this particular plague was a venereal disease, probably one resembling syphilis. So they were getting the dog, the dog plague, man, the syphilis by going in with the daughters of Moab. Why? Did the daughters of Moab, were they already plagued with the syphili, you know what I'm saying, infectious venereal infection? Think about it, man. Columbus brought syphilis to Spain, right? It spread throughout all of Europe, right? Well, we got the Moors, you know what I mean, all throughout Italy, Spain, and back and forth to America. Huh? So sleeping with the daughter of Moab, man, you might get that dog, man. You might get that dog gene, man. You might get that syphilis, man. You might get the syphilis, that Baal. Jaws, still endemic among nomadic peoples in the Middle East today. The epidemic described in the biblical account claimed 24,000 lives. The fifth chapter of the first book of Samuel tells of an epidemic which must have been bubonic plague, for it was brought about by emerods or rodents, which we know today carry the disease and outbreak of which probably was dysentery. 2 Kings 19:35 claimed 185,000 victims among the soldiers of King Sennacherib of Assyria. I'm just belly flopping with this one. Wow. Something about that Moab. Again, did they already have this syphili, you know what I mean, situation, or was it a plague that the creator, just plagued them with after the fact, you know what I mean? I don't know. It seems like they might have already had the syphili. They might have already had the syphili, man. I mean, let's go back, though. Let's go back. I don't want to go too far. I don't go too fast. The punishment of God, Bullet Link, social reactions to syphilis, and the works of Hutton, Fracastoro, Clovis, and Lowe. Now might you see his spring of youth decay, the venture die, the virtue die, the blossoms fall away, the foul infection over his body spread, profanes his bosom and deforms his head. Oh, whoa. Deforms his head? What does this syphili do? Does it turn you into a dog head? Uh-oh. The foul infection over his body spread, profanes his body, and deforms his head. His wretched limbs with filth and stench overflow, while flesh divides and shows the bones below. Dire ulcers, can the gods permit them prey on his fair eyeballs and devour their day? While the neat pyramid below falls, moldering quite away. Pyramid below. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's belly flopping this, man. Just pull the link up. I'm just gonna belly flop and keep connecting it because they were calling the French disease the Napoleon disease. Okay. Belly flop. Venereal, venereal, venereal. Y'all's, epidemic syphilis, Baal, Penta is another name for it, collectively constitute the endemic tragedy. So we're digging on cynocephalus, dog-headed genes, connecting it with this syphilis, cynosyphilis, which they say connects to some dog origin. Then we got this intermixing in the Bible flow, which goes back to this Baal, which is exactly what the Creator was trying to warn us against. Getting this dog-headed gene mixed into our DNA. Not just some sexually transmitted situation, man. We're talking about Baal. Also called y'alls. Y'alls. Panomatosis, y'alls or jaws, is transmitted by direct skin contact. Primary affects children younger than 15. The kids were dying, man, with the peak incident in those aged 6 to 10 years, similar to syphilis. Yaws can persist for years as a chronic relapsing disease, man. You know what I mean? So you see, it gets real chronic. It gets real chronic. So it could be a venereal, it could just be spread with just skin to skin. I mean, this thing gets real nasty. This thing gets real ugly. Verse 15, and the priest shall look at his raw flesh and pronounce him unclean. The raw flesh is unclean. The lesions, it is leprosy. But the raw flesh again be turned white. Then he shall come into the priest, and the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the plague be turned white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean. Then that hath the plague, he is clean. All right, so you're just talking about the skin and boils on the skin, man. You see what we're talking about? Or when the flesh hath in the skin thereof of a burning by fire, and quick flesh of the burning become a bright spot. I mean, we just talking about leprosy, right? Let's go. Y'alls. We're just talking about leprosy, right? We're just talking about this infectious disease, the Baals. This plague which befell the children of Israel when they committed harlotry with the daughters of Moab. So within this Moabite gene was connected with this dog-headed cynocephalus Baal, hashtag y'alls, hashtag syphilis, venereal flow, but that all connects with the dog-headed situation. And that goes way back to the shepherd syphilis being cursed by the god Apollo or Mercury or Thoth, because shepherd syphilis didn't want to worship Mercury or Thoth. Shepherd syphilis wanted to worship his king Alcathous as his god. Alcathous made Apollo jealous, and Apollo cursed Syphilis the shepherd with Cynocephalus the dog-headed jay. And that was straight out of Atlantis. And now you got this with permission of the Pharaoh, Egypt, Atlantis, Moabite flow. And the dog-headed Jane is still there. Hey, just surfing the wave. We're going to get back on this Maga Fa, the Guayacum tree, the holy tree, the cures found in America for the dismount. Again, man, hit up Soul Bone Podcast, man. Great things are happening. Great things are dropping. Every day you're going to get something, man. And again, Ahab to the Aqua Tibet for her immaculate recon over a decade, just popping off, man. Doing her thing, man. And I think this just dropped. We just shit on 432s right there at the Soul Bone Podcast. Yeah. Yeah, okay. In his humble cottage. We're talking about the Reverend John Jasper at 87. The celebrated Negro clergyman still insists that the sun do move. They try to say the sun didn't move. He's trying to say, yeah, it do. Of course it moved, man. It said, Reverend John Jasper has made an international reputation by propounding the doctrine the sun do move, boss. John Jasper, man. I was inspired before I was born. My father told me my mother so. My father told my mother so. She did not believe much about it until I was about 10 or 11, for I was just as bad as any other little nigger. But when I commenced to get big and commenced to notice, I knew that I was inspired and that the word of the Lord came to me like a flash. For 60 years I have been a minister. I reckon I brought thousands of souls from perdition. And if I haven't, it ain't my fault. All right, Reverend. Yeah, man. He's talking about Joshua to stop the sun if she had not been moving. So the sun rises in the east and moves towards the west, and there it sets. The world is flat. Yeah, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. The theories advanced are the earth is a square and immovable, boss. The sun rises in the east and moves towards the west, and there it says the world is flat. The Bible says the sun stood still. He announces dogmatically, is anyone going to say the sun was standing still before Jasher told it to stand still? If Joshua, they say Jasher, but if Joshua told the sun to stand still, then that means it was moving. And it also means that you're not going around the sun, because you wouldn't make the sun stand still if you were going around the sun. But the sun has a circuit going around you. Then you could pause the sun and say, hold up, stay right there. I need some more light. And is Jasher Joshua? ThaWaDa, what is you saying? What's going on? Oh, man. It is nonsense to say the sun does not move. The man who says the sun does not move, he does not read the Bible. Hey, he fortifies himself in the same manner in his belief that the earth is a square and flat, firm, fixed, immovable. What's it like 7 miles in the air? Hey, what is it like 7 miles in the air? Only one man in history of the world has ever been up there, Major R. Schroeder. Here are his impressions. The earth beneath was a flat, round picture, clear in every detail. So from above, just like we got the stratosphere experiments from F. Amadeo Giannini and Worlds Beyond the Poles, 65 miles up, this dude is 7 miles up, and he says the earth is flat. Was a flat, round picture. So that's, looking down like a tent. You know what I mean? Flat is flat, man. If it was a round ball can't be flat. The purity of the upper air, the ether, enabled him to see 6 miles straight down much more distinctively than one would see looking over 6 miles of desert or ocean. Okay. Not only were rivers and large lands visible, but automobiles, streetcars, cattle, and fields could be seen when he turned his eyes directly away from the sun, looking straight out horizontally. He looked into the bluish darkness. There was practically nothing 6 miles above the earth to reflect light, no dust, no clouds. When he looked down, the sun he could see. He looked down, or when he looked towards the sun, he could see. Man, I mean, look. You want experimentations, man? we got experiment. We got Admiral Byrd, doing his expeditions. We got Giannetti in the U.S. Navy, 1926, 1,700 miles past the North Pole, 2,300 miles past the South Pole. You got this Schroeder, letting you know, man, he's looking at flat surfaces. Major Schroeder, who fell 5 miles after breaking the world's altitude record, presently will hear the question of specialists to his question, can I fly again? So far as casual examination reveals the famous pilot will emerge from his experience without permanent injury. Well, that's all right. That's all right. Our most difficult task is to keep Major Schroeder from talking about his flight, Coombs explained in the fall from 36,000 feet above the Earth. Major Schroeder passed in a few seconds from the atmospheric pressure of 4 pounds to the square inch to the pressure of 14.7 pounds at the Earth level. The fuel tank was crushed. Man, this is some interesting stuff. It's my first time reading it with you, man. You got the drop. Y'all get it, man. I mean, Aguatai is giving us some of that classified drop. Is the Earth flat? Experiments are soon to be made on the coast of Florida for the purpose of demonstrating that the Earth is not round but flat. Strange as it may seem, there are still a great many people on this terrestrial ball who deny that it is a ball of any sort. The celebrated Professor William Carpenter, who died in Baltimore last September, was by no means the last of his faith in a picture of the Earth as these unique theorists believe it to be. Some of them, for they do not all agree, the South Pole is seen as a wall of ice surrounding the circular Earth. Circular is not a ball, right? Okay. This conception certainly fits well with the idea of the vastness of the southern waste of ice, which have turned back all explorers. They were searching, boss. They were searching. In the flat Earth picture, the North Pole region is seen to be a small region of eternal cold in the center of the circular world. The principal arguments advanced by the flat Earth theorists are that a ship might seem to sail around the ball when it merely sails around a circle. So when they talk about circumnavigating, going around a ball, just draw a picture, of a circle on a paper, put a little dot in the middle of it, and now you've circumnavigated that dot. You went around the dot. Or just draw a circle around a continent, and now you've circumnavigated the continent. You went in a circle around it. I can drive around my block, my neighborhood. Now I circumnavigated my neighborhood because I went in a damn circle. I didn't go around the ball. I went in a dang circle, boss. When it merely sailed around a circle, that all the effects of day and night could be produced by a fixed sun shining down upon a circular earth revolving like a card or a pin, like a card on a pin, and that the longest rivers have a descent of only a few feet. Hey, we are popping off, man. Flat drop 101. Hey, out the tie bands. Hey, man, robots are over there getting some hands, man. Look at the robots, man. Robot paws hit different. Look at this, man. Ooh, ah, yeah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah. Oh, CGI, boss. All right, sure. They don't have no laboratories where they got super robots popping off, huh? Huh, huh. This is all the CGI. Oh, man, this is about 40 years away, boss. It's about 40 years away, drop. It's all CGI, drop. All right, man. All right, boss. I think you delusional, man. It's fake. It's CGI. Hey, man. Hijack City. Y'all, As soon as we put up anything with robots, the CGI police come out. I don't see y'all any other time, but suddenly y'all want to pop out. So, we just drop y'all. Let's just drop off these CGI people with me, man. Let's count the drop off. One, drop them off. Let's count these drop of fake beat. They say it's fake with no evidence. They can't imagine robots being so programmed and so agile with these quadrillion dollars that NASA is supposed to be spending going to the moon. Where's the money going? Some super fighting robot? Some super bunkers, man. Some world beyond the pole expeditions, man. It's all fake, right? It's all fake. Hey, man, I think you fake, man. I think y'all fake, man. CGI, man. And he put a pool emoji. Yeah, this the CGI police. But let's get these guys out of here. Damn, they running fake. Unfortunately, people believe CGI police. And all y'all look alike. That's the crazy thing. It's fake. It's fake. AI generated. See, that's when they brought this AI thing. Now everything's fake and everything's AI generated. I think you fake. I think you AI generated. They got one of those neural links in your brain ball. Speaking of brain balls, man, I'll be back for the CGI, please. I know y'all coming back. It's CGI, CGI. So what? So what if it was? This don't give you no implication as to what's coming in the next 10, 15, 20 years? We should just ignore it and wait for it to be real? Or should we be visualizing what Hijack City is coming with and, playing chess, not checkers, boss? Hey, shout out to T. Terrence Booker, man. Terrence T. Booker, go hit him up. He got the drop. In a study done by British scientist Jennifer Luke back in the 1990s, she discovered high concentrations of fluoride in the pineal glands of her subjects. Fluoride is found in the most municipal water around the world, along with many more pesticides and chemicals. There are a load of pharmaceuticals and toxins within our water supply, deliberately, I said deliberately added, as well as due to poor water, wastewater management, and lack of proper. Man, these are attacks, man. Silent weapons, quiet wars, man. Yourself, take the wheel, man. So if you want to decalcify or detox, the cons been dropping on the detox flow. You got the kaga root, the kaga plant, increased production of melatonin to the pineal gland. You got the milk thistle, moringa, turmeric, tamarind, chlorophyll plus algae, Shisandra, something like that. These some berries that cleanse the bodies of the heavy metals. The iodine flow. I mean, just consult with your specialist near you and start to clear your mind bone. Because if you can't see clearly, then you can't be no dragon, man, right? Your third eye gotta be open, right? We gotta be seeing clearly. And that goes for everybody, your food, your diet. All this drop don't mean nothing if it's out of order. And if you don't have your health, you can know all this stuff and it don't matter. You can have all the money in the world, you ain't got your health, man. So stay vigilant, keep exercising, keep challenging yourself. Remember, if it don't challenge you, it ain't gonna change you. So push yourselves beyond those boundaries, beyond your fear barriers, and what I'm saying, get in shape, get your mind in shape, get your body right. Most of all, be in code, because none of that matters if you ain't in code. You see the order? So got to keep the code, and your body will follow your mind, spirit, your frequency, your energy. You'll start to see clearly. You start to make all them health drop decisions, man. Again, love to Terrence T. Booker, man. Y'all keep surfing the wave with me. I appreciate y'all for that, because I'm surfing away with you. Aquatai said they got two suns popping off, bright suns over China. My man Zion said, remember when China launched that second sun? Everybody forgot about it, boss. Ping Pang. Aquatai the Soul Bone said, what if the moon is the second sun? I'm just thinking out loud. Hey, we deserve to be able to think out loud. The Sirius star and sun in binary rotation, planet Nibiru. We're asking the right questions over here, man. Soul Bowl Podcast, where a con could be a con and have a conversation. Con AI to the cons, the Amaru cons, copper colored nagas, just now found here. The true, you know what I'm saying, natural ones by law. Your heritage is restored, man. You are reborn in that dragon fire, my naga. You reborn in the ability to see clearly. You are reborn in a time where knowledge is abounding, right? Knowledge is running to and fro. Everything is happening. It's all happening. So steady yourself. Keep the code. Keep your Shabbat. Enjoy your rest day. Because all this keeps you focused, man. And remember, most high over everything, boss. Because we remember HaWah's handiwork over here. We remember the firmament. Rakia. HaWah beat it out. Spread out the Shamayim, the heavens, like a tent. Halal HaWah.